High CPU usage detected. There better be high CPU usage detected. Cool. Nice, nice, nice. Hey Ross, how's it going? Let's mix up some white. Wee-haw. Where's this? There it is. How goes your evening, Ross? Hey Linda, how's it going? And 30 more. Woohoo! Excellent. Good to hear. And everybody's having a splendiferous time, if at all possible. This is going to turn into goop. And that should get nice. Woohoo! Do. Let's see how long it takes. Who knows, maybe white acrylic will take longer to turn into airbrush paint than the black did. Nice. I wish I had a larger armature to work on for a project. Though I really think that if I did that, I would need more. Sick of that camera cutting out like that. Let's make sure this connection's tight. Good. Well, project number 1 is to make some white airbrush paint with IPA and acrylic. And I want to get this skull painted, and I want to get at least a couple of these claws done, so I can see how they work, and I want to see how white works in the airbrush. Then I want to keep working on the J. Olson Tribute Pumpkin. And I've got another fabric eye to attach to my mask. And then I've got some a tombstone that needs coloring. This one is just not... Yeah, it's just a matter of, I want to get projects out. I don't want to sit around and find that it's, the end of summertime. Like, oh, what did I do with my summer? I sat around and I watched YouTube forever, and I never did anything. So, it's a matter of, I really want to get some progress going. Alright, this is... well, it's spilling like airbrush paint, but it's not pouring like airbrush paint. Hey, brilliant. Nice. That's a good project. I've seen some people do some really cool stuff with those Dollar Tree flamingos. Where is it pouring? It's always a problem. It was my summer last summer, Dave. I did so much sitting around, and you know, it's one thing if you know you're working a 9 to 5 and your summer is really taken up, but as an educator, my summer is really not that heavily occupied unless I choose it to be. Consequently, I really want to get more things done, but it's just so easy to sit there and click on through. Check your email, check your Facebook, check your Instagram, watch a video, check this, check that. Oh, bedtime. And before you know it, another day is gone. Like I said, if you're in the middle of a work cycle, yes, totally understand. Got to decompress. But if, like me, you don't have anything else going on, then get to work, dang it. At least that's for my side. Other people got lives, they got stuff they got to do. I understand, but I don't, so I better make sure I get my crud in order. Woo! Hey, S4. It was slowly changing in the UK when I was over there, and that was 2008 to 2010. We had a few trick-or-treaters come by the building. Woohoo! That's all good. Like I said, that was my summer last summer, so it happens. Did I honestly think it's just the humidity or just it pulled back. I don't know. I actually haven't trimmed it in a while. But either way, we'll see if this white works in the airbrush. I imagine it should. I just put the airbrush back together. And I want to do both this and I want to do I want to do that tombstone. Working on eggs, huh? What kind of eggs? I'll lose my cookies if you say Fabergé. But I'm guessing it's paper mache ones for whatever you are doing. Easter usually. Huh. All right. I had that other black one here for mixing black paint earlier, and it was right here, and that's why I grabbed that other one to mix the white paint. Oh, in the last 6 minutes it took off, because that's what things do. Where did they come from? Where did they go? Nobody knows because it's a craft room hole. Hey, Joey. Ah, there it is. Woohoo! Yeah, no kidding. Fortunately, it's these silicone cups, so paint don't stick to them. Worth a fart. So. They clean out incredibly easily. Plus, I'm willing to bet that whatever pigment particles are left, I might even be able to just turn the damn thing inside out. Whee! You got me jealous, S4. Arduino is one of the things I want to get going for my stuff. I've got a board and a kit that has a bunch of sensors, but unfortunately the book that came with it was very, how should I say, more copy-paste than teach you how. It's like, all right, here's the code. Paste the code in, and hey, the sensor works. Like, all right, so why does the code work? See, it works. Yes, but why does it work? See, yep, it works. Like, thanks. Hey, Sandra. The nice thing about the Pumpkins S4 is just, you know, if you don't have a lot of time, just do a small one. They go so fast when you're working with smaller ones. So fast. Alright, let's mix up some black. Paul McWhorter. I will do so. And actually, as soon as I'm done pouring this, I will write that name, or shoot myself an email with that name. I always have such a nightmarish flippin' time trying to get a good resource for that. Thanks, S4. I love paper mache pumpkins. Are so easy. It's one of those things where I'm surprised that some of those foam pumpkin companies are still in business. But then again, you know, you drop 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks and it's done versus you spend 4 or 5 days crafting. So I can understand the speed expedient. Paul McWhorter. Paul McWhorter for Arduino coding. Send. Good. Got it. Thank you. Yeah, I'll have to. Really interested in getting better resources for Arduino coding. Again, which are more than just here, copy and paste the code. Look, it works. Yay! How does it work? Why does it work? What am I telling it to do? Really? I've found that the toilet paper clay gives you some incredibly smooth results. I guess it doesn't always work the same for everybody. Alright, now if I remember, this should turn to gunk, and then it should behave itself. for expedience, I don't think you can beat fiber clay. It's just too fast. And you get a giant chunk of it, assuming it's sold in your area, because Lord knows I've had enough folks from, you know, Australia and other places who are like, hey, can't get this stuff over here. And a few from Central Europe have had troubles getting it too. I wanted to try wetting down my fiber clay at some point, but we'll see. I think my next great clay experiment will be to try to replicate Johnny over at Ultimate Paper Mache's weather-resistant recipe using Portland cement. That will be the next big adventure, indubitably. Alright, I love the results of this stuff, but I hate mixing it. Need one of those little foamy blenders. I bet that would do this very, very fast. Oh. Alright, pause, have a drink. I don't know, she went with like a gram measurement for her most recent one. I mean, realistically, I always just mix up sauce and then add fiber until it's the consistency I like. So maybe that method. I mean, that way you never really go wrong. You always know that if it's too and it's sticking to the sides, you need to add more fiber. And if it's too thick, then you can always just add some more paste. So I think I gotta add some more IPA. I suppose I probably ought to go down to Walmart and get like 10 of these. IPA does tend to climb the walls of whatever receptacle it's in, though. Yeah. Oh. Pouring pretty smooth. If it's a little too thin, that doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'd like Arduino for a couple of things. Mostly to be able to change eye colors on my masks in very rapid order. The pore's not bad, it's still a little thick. Oh. And then you got to find motors that'll turn things at a rate that you like. Which also isn't really too bad. I keep threatening to do it, but eventually I do want to build a Cauldron Creep. Problem is, the stuff I want to build now is all large builds, but the craft room is limited space, so I got to go out into the garage if I want to try to do a large build. Yeah, this is that rag's gross. Let's get a new one. I just got 6 more rolls of these, and I've still got 3 left. no point in trying to hoard the shop towels. Alright, let's see how she pours. But nice and smooth, I like it. Probably should have waited a sec so I could scrape down the walls. Good. Alright, let's test this stuff. Should be great, should be easy, should be fun. Let's cut it some more. In case I'm wrong. The tombstone anyway. Cut this some more in case I'm wrong. Woo-wee. Oh, pardon. I like that it's only 91%. Or 90%? 91? 91% IPA. The 100% stuff is stupid expensive. Alright, cool. Let's do a little brushing. Let's also turn on the doing stuff camera. Time lapse. Get it. Good. Let's base coat this skull. See if the white works. Let's see if I put the airbrush back together right. That's not happy. Pushing paint, but it's not flowing. That's the problem. Yep, there we go. Also a very weak flow. That's really tiny, tiny tweezers. Come here. Get clean. Possible I thinned it too much. Alas, poor 3D print. I knew it well. Early stages of this skull, I tried to repair a section with effectively mache paste, and that is coming back to bite me right in the keister. Because as we all know with mache paste, when it dries, it flakes, and that is exactly what's happening to it. The remnants of it now. Still very impressed with the fact that you can just cut any cheap old acrylic with IPA and it goes through without a hitch. Woo. Hey, Lyncher, how we doing? Nice. Excellent. I'm glad I could help inspire a little bit. The beach ball pumpkins are just so much easier to put together. I think you'll have a lot of fun with them. Whew. Sucker's rolling now. Take a second and scrape this gunk off. I mean, don't ever worry about it. It's one of the things I've really had to work on myself, where I see somebody else's pumpkin and be like, oh wow, that looks so much better than mine. Ah! And it kicked my butt for a while, but comes a point you gotta just stop giving a damn what other people's stuff looks like and be happy that your stuff looks good. It's the only way, because otherwise you get caught up in artistisms. Because if for any minute it stops being fun, then it starts to suck. So just never worry about your stuff. Never ever worry about your stuff. It looks great and everybody loves it. Always just be ridiculously happy with it. Maybe that wasn't where you were going with that, but it brought up that point for me. God, I used to have hang-ups about that. I know for me the big inspirer was pumpkin rot, and it was always like, my stuff is never going to look that good. And you know what? It doesn't, but that's okay. Oh, I'm so sorry for you. That is always a real pain in the butt project. I've thought about doing it several times with effectively newspaper cardboard, soak it for a while, and then try to run it through like a blender. To make my own paper pulp that's a little bit easier to work with, but Damned if the, the green, what is it, True Green insulation I use there, it's just so cheap and easy. Even if it's not very universally accessible, I should say. Alright, let's get on these claws for a little bit. So let's face it, I could finish that skull with a paintbrush if I had to. I mean, the biggest ingredient that's rough to get tends to be the fiber insulation, Kendra, or the drywall joint compound. And the drywall joint compound, just because it's more expensive lately. Thank you. I like to think I'm all right. Could be better, could be worse. I have a new resin printer coming on Friday. Really? They won't? I'm surprised the insulation companies won't get back to you. Really surprised at that. Typically, I've found companies are only too keen to show off their products as much as possible. Alright, give that a second to dry. Where's the other one? This one's got that ugly white enamel all over it. Yep, gotcha. Contractor only. Jesus. That's a pain in the butt. Let's see if this thing stops humming. I have some wood dust downstairs, but I've never used it. I'm almost wondering for Ireland especially, if you have any kind of local historical association nearby, and you could say you're making it for like a community type project or something, related to, because I mean, you're thinking, especially Ireland with Halloween, you guys are, the Samhain originators of the world. Somebody would be able to say, "Hey, yes, we're doing this. We need it shipped. It's for a project for the local historical place, something like that." No, fantastic, Kendra. Thank you. I always have the most fun when I do this with kids. I've done this several times with students at school, and we always have a blast. I'm extremely lucky to have been given the chance to do this with students. As long as you guys are having a ton of fun with it. I remember one person absolutely tried to chew me out because I think they were trying to do this project with, I don't know, maybe like a kindergarten, first grade type class, and they tried to send me a a nasty ram saying is how I couldn't show their kids in class because I said hell and damn or something like that. It's just like, are you kidding me? Wow. Huh. I suppose it's also down to, yeah, I mean, how much it's promoted in the community. Like in the US, it's a moneymaker, so consequently, gets attention. I've loved Halloween ever since I was a kid. It's just such a fun and innocuous holiday. What are we going to do? We're going to dress up like whatever we want, and we're going to go out, and people are going to hand us candy for looking at our cool costumes. Simple, so fun. There's no politics. I mean, occasionally you get the religious wackos, but, you know. And you'll also get some folks who do Halloween decorating a little too dark. I saw one person on the Halloween forums a number of years ago. Their display was like a corpse crucified on an inverted corpse with like hanging, they were obviously plastic and harmless, like hypodermic needles all around it. And it was like, dude. Seriously, that's just going too dark. It's supposed to be lighthearted fun, not freaking Clive Barker does your neighborhood. That person was just nuts. But I really hope this year is quite big. I have a distinct impression that a lot of folks are, you know, making it their COVID revenge. They're going to go out, they're going to have some fun. We'll see when we get closer to October. Oh, that's awesome. I love scarecrows. One of my favorite bits of decoration to put up. I just don't have too many of them. Still blowing paint. I'm going to empty out this cup and then switch for a while. I mostly just really wanted to make sure that my reassembly of the airbrush was correct and functional. And well, it mostly is. I'm sorry to hear that, Brilliant. That's really rough. I can definitely appreciate your desire to not really touch upon that theme after something like that happening. I can absolutely appreciate the desire to modulate with that. No doubt, in a similar situation, I would do the same thing. I likewise don't do any gore, mostly for the fact that I think that it's not the place of a home haunt to do that. I get a lot more folks coming by if I'm not throwing blood all over. That's just not. Nice. Maybe you can give me some tricks. I always have a hellish time with airbrushing. If it's not the brush is getting clogged or something. It seems like my airbrushing is always experiencing problems. I think what buggers me the most is the fact that this is a pretty good airbrush. I spent some bucks on this one. Yeah, I do love them as well. I've got a bunch of their stuff. I've got some Createx right here, but they're just, they're pricey. I thought if I can cut cheap acrylics with IPA, and that's the way to fly. And it was working great. It still kind of is. I'm just trying to hit the bottom of this cup of paint, and I'll call it and move on. God, it's still not. See if that had any part of it. Maybe the white's just a little bit too thick. Oh, thanks, Henry. As long as everybody's having some fun and doing some making, we're good. Oh wow, that's flowing much more smoothly. Wow. Nowhere near as pigmented since it's been thinned. And I don't want to be sitting in a cloud of IPA forever. I have been really wanting to make more use of my projectors for a long time, but my windows, sadly, are they're very short throws. I can't get the projectors back far enough on at least 3 of them to have them be a decent size. So this year we're going to completely rethink our projector strategy. Whee! Air dusting, okay. I hope that's all of it. Yes, the cup's empty, good. All right. Good. Let's get this cleaned out and shift to something else. So I like airbrushing, but that white was taking way too long. All right, how about just a little straight IPA? Squirtle, okay, good. Get this mostly cleaned out. And then, like I said, we'll switch it up. Alright. You know, let's just cleaner. Fast-acting, odorless, environmentally safe. So it says. Better not be lying to me, cleaner. Certainly is very odorless. I almost want to leave the cleaner in there for a while. Alright, that thing keeps plunking and skipping out. I don't like that. Well, glad to hear, Verletta. I'm kind of the same way when I first got into it. Who was my my first person? Twisted Seed, J-Wall. It was on his YouTube channel that I first found it. Yep, that was back 2015, 7 years ago. Still some gunk in there, but I think that's okay. I'd rather have a small clog than have to reassemble this thing more than I already do. Oh, that's just about entirely. Almost entirely clean there. Perfect. Perfect. Alright. And now we'll put it back and we'll pretend that it's in good shape. Let's empty the air out of the tank. And we'll go do some pumpkining. Painting's fun, but let's face it, pumpkining is what I do. Get clean. Get clean. I gotta bring more Q-tips up here. Hey Rachel, how we doing? I'm doing pretty good myself. We'll be doing better here in a minute. Once I bleed this line in this tank, and then we'll get to work on this bad boy. How about you? How you been? Alright, there goes the line. Alright, so now I got some white airbrush paint and some black airbrush paint. And I'm going to put the airbrush away. Oh. At least for now. I got that tombstone to do, but that'll wait. Wait till wait. Straighten this back up. Okay. Hey-ya! I'll be happy to get this sucker out of here once it's completely done. Alright, you sit there and dry. You two just sit here and dry more. You guys. Mache hands are tough. They're definitely one of the things that benefits from the use of cotton. 100%. at least in my opinion. It also depends on the kind of hands you're making. Mine are always long stick figurine claws. Come here. Alright, paint. Go away. Paint. I saw you hiding over there. Go away. IPA. That can work, yep. And again, it depends on the hands that you're making. And there's always something like that too. Ooh, nice. Alright, so we are making a J. Olson tribute pumpkin. And this means we've got to cut off the top and invert it. That's one of his signature moves. And that also means we're going to need to re-glue it. And for that, we'll need the Snot glue gun. Alright, that's heating up. Because I don't want to rip my beach ball apart when I pop that top. Better get this guy out of there. I still need to get those coffee straws for the inside of this thing. Looking at this structure, let's take a poke and a prod. Break some of this resin off. And Pumpkin Sentinels! Fantastic project. I love them. I've only got one half torso right now myself. Alright. Alright, now if we're doing J. Let's go down here. I know for my hands I like to just use wire fingers, bend them where you want them, then cover them with paper, and then the witchwood, like soaked cotton balls. That's pretty much it, resting on the bottom. Now, much as I desperately want to use a Dremel, that will leave about a 1/4 inch gap. And when Jay does his, I'm going to sit right back on. That thing needs to stop doing that. I don't know why it keeps cutting out. Beach balls are just so darn easy. Yeah, I like the look of a lot of his stuff, and so we're consequently going to give it a shot. I mean, it's not like, it doesn't have the real pumpkin look, but it has the cool, spookified, graphic pumpkin look, and that's one of the things I love about his. Alright. I am going to unplug this camera and re-plug it back in, just FYI, because that is really torquing my kecks here. back. Let's find out. Still no sound? Or got it again? Okay, good. Yep, I added the source. Oh. I swear, if I had the cash, I would have a computer up here in the craft room that would be a dedicated streaming computer. But as is, my main computer is downstairs in the living room, so I had to run all the wires up here through USB extenders. Who knows, maybe next year we'll find the funds to get ourselves a new PC down there, and I'll take the old computer up here, and it will become the streaming computer, and that will be its only job anymore, ever. Alright, almost all the way through. Okay. Let's J up the top. Good. Already hot. Oh, good. Alright. Good. Okay. Let's get some really good attachment here. I mean, it won't matter once the clay is on, but until the clay is on, this is my frame. My house is always decorated, at least on the inside. Okay. Let's take a look at I don't know if I want to hit it from the inside or just add some clay in that crevasse. That seems like the better way to go. I definitely don't like to decorate too early. Otherwise, you become like one of those Christmas bums who's like, it's October 31st, it's time for Santa! Like, no. Stay in your own month, please. Late September, early October, go for it. But don't be like them. Don't be like them. Though I can understand if you've got like a really big facade. I know some of those folks do big, like, castles over their entire house, and that takes time, especially if they've got, you know, a real job to do all the time. Nice, good one, Willie. Woo. All right, it's about time to. I want to throw strips over this. One thing I do want to do, though, I don't really want to put pressure on it, but I do want to have, if I do that, I won't be able to put clay on the inside. It's fine. It's fine. It'll all be fine. Cool. This way, if any clay starts to weaken the walls too much, I know the inside has a form that'll hold it up. Put the strips around the top won't hurt. Oh no, yeah. Last minute Halloweening is a flipping nightmare. It's a good way to take Halloween joy and turn it into Halloween hell! Ooh, pardon. I was looking at Jay's a while ago, and I really thought it might be good to carve out some of the, like the spots in between the big pumpkin lanes. I may yet do that. We'll see. Let's, for now though, just do a little bit of strips. Not a lot. Just enough so I never have to deal with a non-stick of the glue. Probably do this in thirds, yeah. Very cool that you got Shark Week stuff up. This should go real fast. Okay, yeah, fold really helps that. This one is going to be a J. Olson style paper mache pumpkin. We're going to try to combine, or I'm going to try to combine what I love about his with what I love about mine, and see if we can't hybridize it up. It's going to be fun times. Yeah, no problem, anytime. Just doing his inverted top variation. See if we can't make things a little bit more funky cool with this style. Then we'll turn whatever sauce I have left here into clay. You know, tomorrow I had to just do a big supply run. I had to go down to, actually it's the perfect day for it. I had to go down to the Penny Saver, get myself another pound or two of newspaper, and just go out to Lowe's, get some Portland cement and some insulation and some PVC pipe. The stem will be as least complicated as I can possibly get. Probably just a little nubbin. It'll sit in the top and have enough substance for somebody to grab. I don't, for some reason, I don't like doing stems. Some folks make these really beautiful stems, and they're elaborate, and they're twisty, and they look crooked, and I think they look phenomenal. But for me, doing them is like akin to layering. The cement clay I am going to try. I am going to get myself a bag of Portland cement, because I think Joni's really got something there. I think she's super got something there. what we might end up doing is like doing a... I kind of agree with her take on it. Like right now she's doing a test. She's made a couple of small figurines out of it, and she's leaving them out in her garden in Minnesota like all year long. And I kind of want to repeat that kind of factor. I want to make something, maybe like a tiny pumpkin, and then keep it out on like my back deck behind the garage all year long and just see what happens. Because yeah, I am terribly curious about it. My brain tells me that it should work fine structurally. There's a couple of problems. Problem one, at least for me, is that flour is still going to be in the mix. And that means bacteria food, effectively. Problem two is that the fact that you're using Portland cement does not negate the fact that you have paper fibers in there. And paper fibers will always wick water, no matter what. So it may be microscopically, but you're going to be wicking water. It might be enough that you wick so little water that the normal cycle of wet and dry, they simply dry out before anything can get in there. It's also possible that the Portland cement binding will really, really slow down, if not halt, water infiltration. But no matter what, you're still going to have capillary action along those cellulose fibers. So, I don't know. The Portland cement chemical reaction does rely on water, but it doesn't need that much. So, there's a lot of kind of theoretical hoops to it. I think it's going to be great. I really do. And especially when she said that her friend there left those two big pots out for like 6 years. And I guess they're still going strong. She didn't really tell in her video. She said that they had been out for 6 years. She didn't mention that, like, and after 6 years they died. She just kind of mentioned they've been out for 6 years. I assume that means they've been out for 6 years and they're still out. Because it didn't strike me as, you know, the kind of project that's been sitting out there for... Somebody made that 20 years ago and they're still there. Okay. Yeah, we got a little everything sticks layer around the top. I do not know how much clay I'm going to be using. I know I don't have a huge amount of sauce here. Suppose we should probably decide on a face. Yes. That cement, to my knowledge, is not available in small bags. That was a problem I was definitively having. Alright, if I set... Okay. So I've kind of already set this as the de facto front. Oh. Did I take that pencil to the other room? Doesn't matter because I found another one. There's a paintbrush in here. There's several paintbrushes in here. Why are there paintbrushes in this one? You are paintbrushes. Paintbrushes do not go in this thing. Alright, they're small paintbrushes, but that doesn't excuse it. paintbrushes. We'll still go in the paintbrush bin. And this paintbrush, yeah. So it's got spots that are getting pulled out and it needs a haircut. There. Okay. Alright, my little friend. We're going to be a Jay Olson style. Let's take a look at what Jay's done. And also, Jay Olson, Unhinged Productions. If you haven't checked out his stuff, you owe it to yourself. I'm pretty sure. Yes, Unhinged Productions. Alright, let's take a look at his most recent monstrosity, because I like the face on that. I think he also doesn't take as much off the top as I did, but this is all an experiment anyway. Jay, show me your face. Show me your face, Jay. Thank you. Alright, he's got up triangle eyes. He's got a very high, grim dark smile. Okay. So that's Jay's. Now let's do mine. So it'll be easier if I can give him a hug. It'll be rough. Let's see what we got. It's already turning out a little bit asymmetrical based on what I want. thing is really charking me off. Alright. Alright, he's got kind of a broken tooth mouth. Nothing wrong with that. Alright. If I want a nose on this one. Let's see it in stark relief. Which is not necessarily a problem. Especially if he's a broken tooth. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, does he need... Nice. New pupils. Not necessarily, but that's always something that can be modeled in later. Okay. I guess I don't need this box anymore since I threw away those junk resins. Okay, it's plugged, thank God. Tiny little twist ties. Sure, they're great. I'm sure they serve a crafty purpose, but right now they're in the way. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, gang. Be right back. Let's hope that switches. It's not switching. Lovely. Alright, let's switch on the main controller. Be right back. Oh, that should love my compressor, but God, does it block the screen. Sharpies, don't go there. Pin drill, go wherever it leads. Electric to the battery charger, okay. Haven't used this puppy in a while. Make sure we're still plugged in. Nope. That'll be this one I'm gonna need a lot more sauce on this series clothes tonight. Oh. Echo, turn on craft light. That's too much? That's fine. What else are we doing but clay anyway? See where it leads us. Pardon. I'll answer that in just a sec, Berlina. Let me quickly mix this. The last convention I went to was Haunt Fair on Long Island, but the organizer of that developed cancer, and I don't know if I think she survived it, but she stopped doing the event due to the stress of that. Hey, Chest. Yeah, you know, I like playing the game Hunter Call of the Wild when it gets way too hot. Pick a nice fall zone and go there and do stuff. All right, save a little sauce for smoothing. Not too much though. Yeah, so that was the only real haunt event I ever got to go to. It was Haunt Fair. That was a lot of fun too. Just about every single haunt event is hugely fun. And I definitely, one of these days I want to make a, you know, a Scare 101 kind of video. There's not much really to it. There's only a couple little tricks that tend to come out in the conventions. But it would be nice to have an online version of that, particularly if I get to make it, because it'll be a lot of fun. Because I'm going to have a lot of fun making it. Nice. Yeah, I find honestly that a lot of the haunt conventions tend to be just too damn far from where I am in central New York. That's why the one on Long Island was kind of nice. Everything else is like in St. Louis, or it's, you know, the West Coast Haunters Convention, which is always on the West Coast. Yeah, or, you know, it's south or southeast, or it's Midwest. And it's almost impossible to get in there for a guy living in central New York, or southern central New York. Okay. Now the ingredient that's becoming increasingly rare to get at a good price. Can I get my fingers in here? Can I find the spoon of great sloppage? No, but I will use the spatula at equal equivalents. The spatula is silicone and much easier to clean. Yeah, I'm very sure Chicago's got one. It's, I know Chad Savage manages to make it his way to a bunch, and he's in Chicago area. I don't even know how much I need there, but can never really overdo joint compound. There's HauntCon is the major one. And that one's always in like St. Louis, Carolinas, etc. Midwest Haunters Convention. It's always in the Midwest. Hey, Cobwebs, good to see you. Just got on your YouTube channel there, Cobwebs. I didn't realize you had all the cool stuff going on. Very impressive. Drywall joint compound, yeah, really kind of makes it like iron for the purposes of doing the mache clay. Yep, see? Midwest Haunters Convention. I'd love to be able to get out there to those, but again, they're so far from New York every time. Just here. Curious, it's a little messy. Alright, let's see if I can mute for for mixing. There it is. All right, so you're going to lose volume for a minute, but that's just because I'll be mixing and this thing's loud. Okay, that was the picture and not the volume, because crazy reasons. Alright, where is the volume one border? Text, folder, viewer, clip art. Why do both these things say headset, microphone, chat? Alright. Let's do crazy stuff. Okay. Okay. Hopefully we got volume again. Good. Thank you for letting me know. We're back at it. Come here, my little flip-top friend. I suppose it's just layering. Oh, it just feels good to have paper clay in my hands again. I suppose I'm just doing the outer layer today. Oh. That just feels really, really good. I suppose the trouble is just getting to this one. Thank you, Cobwebs Gamma 6! I appreciate the super chat. You are awesome. Woo-ha! Oh my, it just, squidgy sculpting medium. I am so happy. Beautiful squidgy sculpting medium. Oh, hey, yeah. Wow, this claw turned out really well too. Oh, that epoxy putty. Ah, yeah. All right. So many things to be happy about. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Man, you know, if I wish, in some ways, I wish this was like the 1400s, where I could have a studio of apprentices doing all the crappy layering, and then I could just sit around and do the fun part. Yes, apprentice, go and layer 15 pumpkins for me and give them a small outer shell of paper clay, and then you, other apprentice, go mix up a bunch of paper clay and give me the finished ones so I can have fun doing tons of sculpting for hours and hours. Oh boy. I don't know if the design will stick with too, but it's at least a fun opening concept. God, legwork. You know, if it was the kind of thing that I really could contract out, I totally would. I suppose the rough end in me is thinking that there's got to be some way to make a machine that I could fill with flour, water, and all the ingredients, make a form, and then just have it crud out pre-layered spheres. And then some other machine that I could just have crud out pre-coated ones. Oh, a little bit of that plastic in here. You can feel it. There we go. Ah, well. Sadly, it is not the 1400s, and we're not under the master journeyman artisan system. And we also have significantly greater technological advances too, so I am not going to pine for the 1400s. Just that one particular aspect would be nice from a pure lazy crafting point of view. Oh, I have so much clay. Oh, this is so nice. So nice. Yay! We're gonna sculpt all night. Or at least as much of this as I can before it becomes impossible to do more without it either tipping over or just being rough. I have no doubt you could, Berlin. I've seen several folks do some really good resin molds. Absolutely excellent resin molds. You know, if it's silicone, then the resin won't stick, and you can have a fine and wonderful time with it. I bought myself a vacuum chamber for a similar purpose. At the moment, I'm trying to desiccate some silica gel in it, but that's not working, so. I've also got a ton of silicone resin molds for other project aspects that I'd love to tinker with at some time. Why don't we just do a halo around the head? That way all the weight will stay balanced. I'm really, really enjoying holding paper clay and using it again. This is so nice. So very, very nice. Why do I ever stop doing this? God. Yes, indeed. And doubly so, keep your eyes out at the end of the fall season. These stores will all be trying to dump their inventory. And you can probably get a lot of good deals on silicone molds for Halloween stuff. Oh. Thinking I need some tunes. I really kind of need to go into Carl Casey stuff and classify it a little more. Let's see if we can find some royalty-free Celtic music or something. Then I won't get in deep spit for putting on the YouTubes. Fingerprint not recognized. No surprise there. I've been arse deep in paper clay. Royalty free. Celtic music. Celtic music, no copyright. Dark ambient medieval. The other one's Adrian Von Ziegler. His stuff is awesome, but I have heard it 500,000 times. Alright, let's try this. Creative Commons music. Tune me! I'll take it. sweet child of mine, but it won't get us demonetized either. Not that I should really care that much. I suppose it's always... I also need to make a video at some point to answer the question of how long does this take? I gotta get myself a big old clock and only start it when I start working on the